What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, well, we have the DEC BUSD pool that is still obviously giving rewards, and this is something that I think we're going to need to make a proposal on soon. Now, I'm hoping that this comes from Matt and the team, and maybe they're not as worried about it right now because the changeover doesn't really happen until February, in which Binance will no longer be supporting the BUSD stablecoin, but we do need to make a changeover. The thing is, with the GLS side, we saw that they are now starting to set up their pools and their bridge to the Binance Smart Chain, and they will not be pairing their stablecoin GLUSD with the BUSD token for obvious reasons. They are going to do it with the USDC token on that side, right? So here's the thing. We could switch over to, the BNB version of USDC, but my question is, why wouldn't we keep this on chain on Hive potentially and offer a DEC HBD pool? Now, again, maybe there is not as much confidence in the stablecoin for Hive, which is HBD, Hive-backed dollar, versus using USDC, which is there is some kind of backing to that. There is a company there rather than having an algorithmic stablecoin. I don't know what the deal is, but I do think that if there was an HBD pool, it could be something to consider, because these pools, I think, are going to be one of the larger ones out there. The stablecoin pools have a lot of appeal, especially once we get the flywheel started, and it helps both the Hive ecosystem as well as Splinterlands. So again, I would still consider myself somewhat of a Hive newbie in terms of not understanding everything that happens there and how in the mechanics. I know that there's a burn mechanic similar to Terra Luna, but in this sense, I'm trying to figure out why we're not offering that, or maybe this is something that we could offer in advance. Now, granted, I've taken an extreme stance before saying that I don't think we even need any DEC pools. I think the only thing that we should have is DEC SPS, but at the same time, I can recognize that that has a single point of failure. And the reason I say that is because if we were to do it in that way, where we only have DEC and SPS, my thought process was that you could just remove the DEC BUSD pool and the DEC DAI pool and just have the bridges be SPS, right? There's nothing that you can do with DEC on these other chains. There's no reason for us to have DEC bridged out to the other chains anymore. And again, I've made this argument in previous videos, but it has come to my attention that that could be a little bit of a risk, because if anything ever happens to the DEC SPS pool, then we run into an issue where, again, it's a single point of failure. Granted, it's not really a single point of failure, because you do also have the DEC swap.hive, which also exists on the Hive blockchain. But at the end of the day, maybe more is better in certain ways, which leads me again to the other side of that argument, saying, well, we should really consider having a DEC HBD pool. Now, maybe you don't want to spread things out too thin, but there's also an LP reward out there LP rewards out there that are not being used. I know that we're only using about like 60 to 70% of the total available LP rewards, and that was by design, because we wanted to have we wanted to have some available in case we started bridging to new chains. And I think, Polygon or Solana, Avalanche might be the top candidates, especially as we head into another potential bull run. But it will have to wait and see which of these L1s essentially starts to gain more ground and has a good backing in terms of where we would go. But that's kind of my thought on this. We will need to make this change soon. Obviously, February is not tomorrow, but it's not that far off either. And so my question to you guys is, should we follow the same thing as the GLS side, where we pair it on the Binance Smart Chain by just doing not BUSD, but DEC and USDC, right? The BNB version of that? Or would you be opposed or in favor of changing this to a DEC HBD pool that exists on the Hive blockchain? So I'm thinking that could be something that is really valuable in the future. It adds a lot of value. And for those who want to hold Hive-backed dollars, they could hold some that isn't locked away in a savings account. And sure, that savings account earns 20%, which is fantastic. It's better than the roughly 10% we're getting here. But this would be liquid. People would be able to hold it or remove it whenever they wanted to. There's no 3.5 days. So I think there could actually be a lot of appeal that would add value to both sides. So for those of you who are familiar with the HBD and Hive protocols, I'm curious to know if this is something that you would be in favor of, because we're going to need to make this change at some point. And when we do, I'm wondering if we should try to shake things up a little bit more than what they were before, right? Instead of just switching over on the Binance Smart Chain, we maybe add something or switch it over to the Hive chain, just because there's a lot of there's a lot of people already here, and it makes sense to have your DEC locked in chain rather than having to bridge it back and forth and pay those fees every single time if you want to have a good amount of DEC in a stable coin pair, rather than, DEC and swap.hive or DEC and SPS. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.